Hi there, welcome to our channel. I'm Vic.
I'm Nick.
And we are MV Board Gaming. And today we're going through The Mind. This is a 2 to 4 player game. It's published by Pandasaurus Games. And it is designed by Wolfgang Warsch. Nick is going to go through how you play right now.
Alright, let's do it. The Mind is a cooperative game. You're going to start, your goal is to get through 12 levels. And if you want, you can go all the way back through those again blindly. So let's explain how we do that. So in level 1, that means we're going to have one card each player. We're going to dealt random. These cards are 1 through 100. And only you know your card. You are making a judgment call, looking, engaging with body language maybe, or just the feel of how tentative somebody might be. All nonverbal communication. You're deciding who's going to play when. So you can have 4 players all looking at each other, waiting to see, okay,
Yeah.
playing the card. You have to go in sequential order. So if I had a 42, if it was a 2-player game, I might be fine. Odds are I am fine. But it's still a 42. So there's 41 cards out there that will blow this game up. So if you fail at any point and it doesn't go in the right order, in ascending order, you lose a life. Based on the player count, you have different life. You have more life if you have more players. You also have these star abilities. If everyone agrees at the table, you can spend one of these stars if you have them. And that means everyone gets rid of their lowest card. Gets you out of a few binds that maybe you cannot, you're trying to fill at the table and everyone is pretty tentative about playing a card. You can play, everyone just agrees to play a star, everyone discards their lowest value card. Also, if you were to mess up in a different stage, when you lose a life, so that means that somebody went out of order. You could have skipped 20 numbers. So in that 20 number area, in that 20 number range, everyone at the table that has a number inside that range discards it as well. So you only lose 1 life for having messed up more than once, technically. You're going to keep doing this, going through all the rounds. All the rounds represent how many cards each player is dealt. And you're going to keep trying to get through. At the bottom right of these levels, you'll notice sometimes you get a bonus for completing it. So here you get a bonus, one of those stars. And other times you might get a bonus of a life card that shows a little bunny on it. If you get through all 12, then you go to a different round where it is done blindly. So you're going to still get dealt, you're playing the game over again, but this time you're playing everything face down and you're trying to gauge about the range people are playing, judged on however you want to judge that.
Yeah.
So you're doing all that. It's played. It rolls over. So if you still had life or stars, you'll keep those. If you didn't have any, you'll keep those. You'll have nothing, and that's just how you're gonna have to play it and see if you can defeat it that way. So that's how you play.
Yeah.
Vic, what do you think of it?
Well, my thoughts of this game, I was amazed how it worked out, how everything just happened, sometimes that we would have these crazy moments where it's like, you go, no, you go, no, you go, and no, you need to go, and you would go back and forth, and you're trying to convince the other people to play, and if you have a 1 or 2 difference in your cards, and when it works out, oh my gosh, that feeling is really great.
Yeah, technically it's...
Yeah. Yeah, because you're not even saying anything, right? Like, if you follow the rules, you're just silent. So you just shake your head, you're telling the other player, no way.
You just throw your cards down. Ain't happening.
Yeah. So I really love that. And I love when it all works out. I mean, even when it doesn't, you're like, oh, right? It was just 1 number or 2 number. Like, you can't get mad. You're not angry. When the blind thing comes out, oh my goodness. The blind playing it, not knowing what the number was.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
Oh man, it was just sometimes it worked out really well, but most of the time, for us at least, that's where we falter the most. But we have a good connection, I feel. And anyway, my score for this game, I'd give it a 7-7. I like the game a lot. I think it's fun. If you want something simple to explain to friends, it's a good pick for that one, for having like a newer audience to play, and it's simple.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's an activity, but it still has a game in there. So I think a lot of people might demean this because it kind of is just an activity.
Yeah.
But you still have decisions. You still decide that star when you want to play that. You're still making decisions, and your mind's still going. So it's not like you're just sitting there playing cards willy-nilly. I'm running a little math. Like, what are the odds of this? Are we sure? Like, there are situations, especially in a 2-player game, what are the odds How many cards did that person have left? Because if we both have 12 cards, starting out with a 5 might not be good enough. So we're both kind of sitting there with 4s, 3s,
Unless
5s.
you have that 1, then you throw the 1 down as soon as possible.
Yeah, 1, we just wait. So make sure no 1s come out.
Yeah.
And,
Give someone a chance.
those are the best cards to have, the 1 and the 100. So you know your first and you know your last.
Yes.
Everything else is up for grabs.
Yeah.
You could have a 99 and a 98, and it's rough.
Yep.
So I do like the game, and I like the blind part a lot. There is in games, there's always that thing that really grabs you when the reveal phase. What have we done?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm actually really interested to see.
The reveal phase is awesome in a lot of games, and this game has it if you get that far.
Yeah.
The trick is getting that far. In a 2-player game, we found it to be fairly easy to get that far.
Mm-hmm.
Caveat. We had a little
a system
loophole. Yeah, a little system.
We did something.
Yeah, so if we were within the last number showing, if we were within 10 of that range, we held the card up. We didn't show the card, but we held it up like we're within that range. That was just all we did. We could have made it even worse. Could have set it down and picked it up again. Now we're in 20 range. No, I drew the line at 10.
You did, yeah.
It was offered to me.
I tried to get that going, and he goes, "No, we're not."
It was offered to me. So
on.
our friend Tim decided to do that. I was like, all right, let's go ahead and do that. Because we were getting crushed at first.
Yeah.
Without that, man, it's even rougher then. But at a 4-player game, we never made it to the blind phase. At a 2-player game, I think every time we played...
At least twice, 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, every time we played, I think we made it to the blind phase, which I actually enjoyed more. Because the reveal...
It's so crazy.
You're trying to feel it out and see if it all... I mean, we got to like 8 or 9 or something. Then all of a sudden, there's all these cards out here. And like, there's no way we did it. And we did it before.
Yeah, we were pretty impressed with ourselves. Like,
sometimes we actually did it.
Yeah.
Because we know the spots. Like, this spot could mess us up because we were both like unsure. And it's like 50-50 if we were right or not. So, a lot of fun. I'm going to give it a score of an 8-3. So, again, Vic said it's an easy one to teach. That goes for it. It has good decisions. And it also doesn't suffer from being in the right group. I think this would work with just about anybody.
Yeah, it's numbers. Pretty uncontroversial.
And I give bad scores to party games where it depends on the group. Not necessarily bad, but not very good. Like Wavelength, I really like that game. I like the concept, but it doesn't work in every group, so I gave it a little bit. I dinged it. Boulder Dash, you're doing that game. You're playing that game. You're creating it. You're making the moments.
You make that game, where this game has a game in it.
Yeah, this game is going to work.
And stuff like that. It's so fun, and you can kind of segue people into more of the other card games, too. Like, if you make it, something familiar, that they're playing cards, people are not so apprehensive, I think, with that, if they're playing other card games.
This game is going to work. Obviously, there's always that person out there that could maybe not want it to work and not play it. Well, that's at any game,
Trolls.
though. That's with any game. They just don't want to like it. Okay, fine. Don't like it. But I will recommend this. And for the price tag, just get it. I mean, you can just stick it on your shelf and bring it out occasionally.
Doesn't occupy a lot of real estate, which is great. Very simple.
Easy recommend.
Yeah. Thank you very much for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, could you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more awesome content? We will see you next time. Bye.